So we welcome you to this table of love, where we come in the name of one God, a Father, Mother God of many, many children. And I invite you to light a special light, a light for peace, for tolerance, for justice, and for unity within the whole family of God, and for the field of dreams that Francis told us he would provide, where we could come together. I light this light in the name of our Father, Mother God, who creates life, in the name of the risen cosmic Christ who loves life, in the name of the Spirit who is the fire of God, in the name of Gaia, our beloved Earth Mother, who nurtures the divine in all life, and in the name of all faith traditions, for they are the children of the one true loving God, our brothers and sisters, members of the mystical heart of God, the Supreme, and in the name of spiritual diversity, on behalf of my brothers and sisters of the Teo community, I, Brother Sean, welcome you to this table of love, because you are love. You are loved, because you are a child of love, a child of God. Let us relax, let us be still, and let us experience tonight the healing touch of a loving God. Though many may not understand why we as a Franciscan community should embrace all faiths, I guess an analogy that would be simple for me to share with you would be, I guess we're eclectic in our eating habits, because like many prefer only Italian, Parisian, Irish, African American, Peruvian, South American, whichever. We as interfaith Franciscans like a little bit of everything, because that's what Francis asked us to do, and it was to embrace all faiths and not to come at them like a cannonball, demanding to know what is your belief, what is your gender orientation, what are your likes and dislikes. That is not the vision of Francis. The vision of Francis is that we walk the talk, that we demonstrate in our love of God a tolerance, a loving acceptance, and that we embrace every human being regardless of their color, their creed, their lifestyle choice, or their political correctness. And that's why you and I are here, to hold the family of God, many of whom are hurting as we speak. Many are lost in a mindset of fear. Many may be searching for what you and I have found: fellowship, peace, joy, love. Let us relax now, and let us listen to the words of the cosmic Christ. Where there are two or three gathered in my name, I am with you. And I know He's with me. And I know He's with you, whether you're a Christian or not. I know that the Christ, the cosmic Christ, and all the spiritual masters are with us. So let us now use our gift of free will and invite, invoke, and call upon the messengers of God, the angelic realm, who are the eyes and the ears and the beating heart for mankind, who only bring love. Let us be still and let us just trust in our heart, and let us know that we are truly loved by God. Let us be still, and as we close our eyes, let us imagine that we have been transferred to an oasis of beauty, back to our spiritual birthplace, to Mount Sinai, the sacred mountain in Egypt, where the prophet Enoch gave to the Essenes the Talmud, the tree of life, the book of the tree of life, the Kabbalah, and many of the great spiritual teachers were Therapeutai Essenes, brothers and sisters going back 8,000 years, who came together 3 times a day to worship the one true loving God. And that's what you and I are doing here. We are reawakening our heart to our soul group, to those whom we love, to those who are the children of God, to those who are searching for a meaning and a purpose to their life. And you and I are servants of peace. Francis was an ambassador of peace, and he came not to create a new religion or a monastery, but to reach out to the marginalized, to the poor. And in our world today, many of God's children are spiritually impoverished. They are hurting. They may not be aware of it, and many may be aware of it. But the attraction of the world, materialism, status, power, success, has a far greater pulling power than surrendering your heart to God and becoming like Francis, an ambassador of peace. So let us just be still here and ask the God of peace, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Creator God, to come to you, to guide you, to speak with you in your heart. Just relax for a few moments.
the Son, to God the Son, है बेसाच, नानक होसी बेसाच। आहा सच, to God the such, है such.
We praise you, O God.
नानक होसी बेसाच।
Just be still and allow the Spirit of God come upon you.
Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Oh, divine Master, grant that I may not so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, it is in dying that we are born into eternal life. Father, Son, Spirit, to God the Son, Spirit. To God the Son, Heaven such Nanak hosi such.
That is such a beautiful chant, and it really speaks to my heart, and I pray it has spoken to your heart. I'm guided to read for you for this reflection the words, God is now, Allah Jehovah Yahweh, Supreme Creator Being, is now. It is necessary to recover our sense of God as now. This in turn may sound so obvious that we must give it the content we intend. If for the medievalist God was there to be aspired to, he was also then, someday, to be arrived at. By his permanent vows of enclosure, thus the monk was the type of full holiness. By his permanent vows of enclosure, he was already in the heavenly place, thus carving in the choir and sanctuary of the abbeys concerned angels and heavenly scenes. But it is of the essence of the evangelistic offer that there are no longer two ways about it. One more, the modern, to deal with the burden of the now, must accept the offer of God's now, his presence in the world. The next theme is looking at the benediction of a day. To take a natural analogy, there is a living flower. You want to have it, so you pluck it, but by your act of plucking, it dies. You are fascinated by a sparkling running stream, a living stream of water, but if you grasp it, it runs through your fingers. You scoop it into a pail, you no longer have life, but just a bucket of water. There is a sunbeam dancing in your room. Wow, life from the sun. If you pull down the curtain to capture the beam, it is gone. There is a bracing wind that enlivens your whole being, but try to catch it in a bag and you have stagnant air. All this reminds us how not to get in touch with life. Here is the root trouble of our lives. We all love life, but the moment we try to hold it, we miss it. The fact that things change and move and flow is their life. Try to make them static, and you die of worry. What are those words saying to you? This is just as true of God, who is the life of life. The only way to achieve a sense of God's presence is to put yourself in the way of God. In our analogy, you achieve a sense of life in the presence of a flower, by a running stream, in a bracing wind, with sunbeams falling on the stream. You come home to say you have had a perfectly lovely day, which means a lively day. It has been a benediction of a day. You can only achieve a sense of God in a similar way. You can only find God in the now. And that was taken from a sermon in Iona, in the Abbey, the ancient Abbey, on prayer, July 1955. The words I share with you are the words that come from my heart. There is no easy way to God, but many struggle to find God. Why? I guess it's ego, to have that feel-good factor that the world tells us we must have. To find God, one must surrender one's heart to love, for God is love. God does not ask anything of you or me other than to be still, to sit in the divine oneness and surrender your heart. And the moment you surrender your heart to Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh God, something amazing happens. The Father, Mother God breathes the breath of God into your being. You become an anointed one, a child set apart to sing the praises of the Beloved, whether you're Muslim, Hindu, Jew, Sikh, pagan, Buddhist, or Christian. It doesn't matter what religion you are, for God does not create religion. Man created religion to connect with God. God created spirituality for us to embrace God through the surrender of our heart. And we can only surrender our heart when we ask the Father, Mother God to breathe the breath of God into our higher self. I'll share with you the beautiful prayer that we share every evening on Vespers at 5 o'clock UK time. Breathe on me, breath of God, fill me with life anew, that I may love what you dost love, and do what thou wouldst do. The moment you and I use the gift of free will and choose to surrender your heart to your Creator God, Goddess, there are spiritual fireworks. Because instantly the gates of heaven open to you, and you are allowed entrance because you have asked. Many people accuse God of a lot of atrocities in our world. I remember, excuse me, about 9 years ago doing a live phone-in on the BBC radio in Manchester. And it was to celebrate World Angel Day. And a gentleman phoned in and he was quite abrupt and very angry. And he said, "You tell me you love God and that you believe in angels." I said, "Yes, I do." "How could you," he said, "when you think of all the atrocities that God has done to his children? The children starving in Ethiopia, the troubles in Africa, the racial problems in America, the slave trade, man's inhumanity to man. Why would a God of love do this?" And I said, God does not do that. God does not interfere with your gift of free will. God could easily interfere with it, but he leaves mankind to make the right choice. And God's Spirit does touch hearts. When we give generously to the famine appeal, yes, we do. In a matter of just 2 or 3 weeks' time here in the UK, we will have not children in need, but comic relief. No, with a big teddy bear. I've forgotten the full name, but it's a full day and night on television till 2 in the morning, where people phone in and donate money. Last year, even though we are in a recession and we're a small country, there was something like £38 million raised on the night, and many more millions given for charities in Africa. Yes, for children in Africa and a few here in the United Kingdom. So you see, God's Spirit of love inspires others to give generously, and they do. But then when the money goes to the particular country, man intercepts that and has used it for ammunition, for armory, for guns, for weapons of war, to destroy the children of God. You cannot blame God for that. That is man's inappropriate decision. He wasn't happy with my answer. It was a flippant response. But God is a God of love. As the great Buddha Dhampada said, hate is not overcome by love. Hate is overcome by love. Sorry, hate is not overcome by hate, but hate is overcome by love. So you see, you and I have a choice, like the government in Syria. They have a choice to care for their people. Instead, many children are starving. Why would God allow the Taliban and the Afghanis do what they do to their young women and treat them like slaves? Because they've taken the Quran out of context. The Prophet Muhammad was a holy man, and the Quran is a holy book. And there is nothing in the Quran that denigrates women. I've read it, I know it, not by heart, but I know that it was inspired by the Archangel Michael. Yes, it was. So you see, God is touching your heart to surrender to peace, to be an ambassador of peace. And when we come together, that spark of love that we share at this table, it's not Christian, it's not Islamic, it's not Judaic or Buddhist. It's a spiritual love flowing from the heart of every one of God's children who embrace truth, integrity, justice, peace. I'm here not to convert you to become a Catholic Christian. That is my belief, but I'm guided by God to embrace all beliefs. Let us be still now and listen to these words of John Michael Talbot.
I, the Lord of sea and sky, I have heard my people cry, all who dwell in dark and sin, my hand will save. I who made the stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. I, the Lord of wind and plain, I will tell Here I am.